world, and welcome back to another segment of Rate the Leadership. I am your host, Jai Mays, and I am so excited to be here with you today. We have an exciting show today. We are going to be discussing the 2025 Joint Address to Congress. And let me tell you guys something. It was packed with all kind of emotion, packed with all kind of entertainment. We've got to rate the leadership on the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. How well is the Republican Party doing? How well is President Trump doing in his first 90 days of being in office? Also, are the Democrats are they giving good leadership? Are they showing good leadership traits? We're going to rate all that today on Rate the Leadership. So, we have our thumbs up and thumbs down, and I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. Let's get into this. Let's review this. Let's react to this. Let's get into it. Here we go.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
That must be the Democrats. Let's find out. Look at the look on their faces like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Look at the looks on their faces.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525. On a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Is it me or are these folks just, they're acting a complete crazy fool? This is crazy. He is like way too old to be acting like this. What?
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
Y'all, it's funny. Look at J.D. Vance keeps looking over there at the Democrats because they are so disruptive and they're acting like petty children. And I understand that last time it was Biden and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they said she lashed out saying, say Laken Riley's name. Laken Riley is the young lady that was killed by the illegal immigrant. And so the Republicans were up in arms because the Democrats would not acknowledge this young lady. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had a blurt out about it. But I'm looking at the Democrats and they say that they're supposed to be the party of peace, the party of love and joy. And they're not demonstrating any of those characteristics right now, okay? None of those adjectives, isn't that a descriptive word, adjectives? They're not acting like that at all. So it is embarrassing and appalling to see these grown adults acting like this. And I would think that you would be they call it being the bigger person or being an example on how you're supposed to act. These are older individuals too. They're 40 and up acting like this. 40 and up. Let's get back into it. This is crazy. Rate the leadership. Let's rate the leadership on the Democrats and how they're acting. They're acting like children. This is very embarrassing. And then I want to rate the leadership on how Speaker Mike Johnson is handling this. Because by the looks of him, he wants to go down there and fight him. It looks, him and JD Vance, they want to go fight him. They want to go mano a mano. It looks like it. Even Trump, he's giving it looks like. Shaking my head at these people acting like this. Let's keep going. This is just terrible.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that?
You know, folks, here's the thing. I heard straight out of the mouth of the Venezuelan president, Maduro himself. He said that the Biden administration strategically brought in the gang Tren de Aragua to the United States. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I know I heard that out of Maduro's mouth. That they deliberately brought in criminals to the United States, and that deserves a thumbs down, okay? Let's get back into it. A thumbs down.
This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure.
He's calling them out, y'all. He's calling them out.
To the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Call them out, because I'm sick of them too. They are bigots and miserable. And all of this accomplishment, the turnaround of America, because we all know America was going all the way down, okay? The fact that all of these great things are happening and they won't even clap or anything shows you what's in their heart. Let's keep going.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
I see JD Vance telling them to stand up. They're not going to stand, JD. They've got too much evil harboring in their hearts. And they have let the media turn them away from everything that is good. And I am a witness of that. And I pray that they snap out of this. I really do.
Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Listen, especially to Ukraine.
We are
Because oh my goodness, what did I just do? Oh, there it is. Okay. Especially to Ukraine, because I don't want my tax dollars going to Ukraine. I don't want my tax dollars going to fund unnecessary wars and killing and terrorism. So I'm for that. And I don't know, have you guys seen what Doge has uncovered where our tax dollars are going? We've been funding terrorists. I don't want to fund terrorism. So thank you so much. I want my tax dollars to go to where they're adding value, not wars. How about you guys?
Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us.
I am so glad he said that, the Green New Scam, because they're running around here talking about global warming and climate change. Yes, the climate changes, God has it set in an order. So you've got spring, winter, summer, fall. I mean, yeah, you've got, no. Winter, okay. Autumn, winter, spring, summer. Let me do that. Okay. And that's, yes, the climate is changing, but they're trying to make it seem like the world and the earth is going to be destroyed. And that is not true. God controls the earth. Everything is set in order. Until he says heaven and earth shall pass away, it's not passing away. Matter of fact, God is coming to conquer the earth. So why would he destroy an earth that he's coming to conquer? Why would he destroy his own earth? And he's certainly not going to let man destroy what he has created. So the whole climate change thing is a scam to me. And that's my personal opinion. So I like it when he says the Green New Scam. Got all of these people running around here thinking that the earth is either going to overheat or that the water is going to rise in the ocean and everyone is going to drown. Jesus said he was never going to drown the whole world again. That's why they have the rainbow. He said that right there is a covenant. The rainbow shows a covenant between him and his creation. And what did they do with the rainbow? They took it and corrupted it. That's how evil these people are, especially the Democratic Party. I'm going to give them a thumbs down on that one. Let's keep going.
Trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
Yes. Yes.
And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
You know, there's been a lot of uproar at this. I've seen the people go crazy because he said, come back to work. Listen, we're business owners, okay? My husband and I. And there are people who, yes, they work for us and work with us. And anytime you are paying someone out of your own pocket, your business, you're generating income and you are paying someone to be there, then they need to be there. I don't understand why people are so mad. You know why? Because it's pulling them out of their comfort zone. And we all both know, unless you are very strong-willed, a real strong-willed person can work from home. A business mind, straight, orientated person, business orientated. They have a level head, critical thinking, and they can stay on task. That's the type of candidate that can work from home. But before I became that candidate, because yes, I can work from home. I work anywhere, honestly. I work about 24 hours a day. I do. I'm in the trucking industry. So if I'm in the Price Chopper, I'm working. Okay. If I'm in the library with my children, I'm working. If I'm in the office, I'm working. And if I'm at home, I'm working. But most people, when I was younger and I had to work from home sometimes, I really wasn't doing much. I mean, come on, y'all. You could get distracted. Your kids are distracting you. You're doing something in the kitchen. Something comes on the TV. The news is distracting you. You've got all these things distracting you. And so you get your best results when you're in-house in the office. Let's just keep it real. Now, I'm in the trucking industry, so I'm always on. I really can't take breaks. But I love that, because if my phone isn't ringing and my email is not beeping, then we're not making money. So I'm constantly tapped in to my work, except for on the Sabbath. That is the day that I do rest. But I understand where Trump is coming from. If we're paying you, you come in and do the job. There was a lot of people collecting checks that weren't doing anything. And that's our taxpayers' dollars that's supposedly paying them. So I want you to come back to work too. Do you guys know that my husband had been waiting on a decision from the VA? He's a veteran. He had been waiting on a decision from the VA because he had some injuries that happened when he had a car accident. So something had to happen with the VA so they can finally finalize the paperwork. Do you guys know that we didn't hear from the VA for almost a year? I know it had to be at least 10 months. And as soon as President Trump said, you need to report back, as soon as he was in office and got sworn in, do you know the next week we got results? So yes, President Trump, send them back to work. Send them back to work, because if I'm paying you, I want you at work too. I get it. There was a time that I was the worker, and now I am the employer. And I get it. I get it. And we're very lenient with our people because why? Because we have responsible individuals. They don't have to be micromanaged, but there are some that have to be micromanaged, and they need to be back in that office, especially if you're paying them $250,000 a year. I need to see you.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I've stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back. And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
I feel them on that. Because if I can't understand you, I'm frustrated. And English is what we speak here in the United States. And they were trying to bring so many other nationalities in. And I get it. But it's tough. I can't understand. So it might not be a big deal to you guys, but it's a big deal to me because I could not understand and I'm not bilingual. So please speak English so we can all get along.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country.
And do you guys know that this was a big deal to people? You know, it was a big deal. They were mad. They thought, Black people were up in an uproar. They're getting rid of us. And let me tell you guys something. That diversity, equity, inclusion, nobody was thinking about the inclusion. Okay. And we even had some incidents where we had to deal with that because we had some folks that wanted to come as they were. Okay. They say, come as you are, meaning they were born in they're men, but they felt like they were a woman and they wanted us to accept this in the workplace. And we couldn't accept that because that's not how you interviewed. And it was making, it was going to cause and make a lot of people uncomfortable. And because we could not have that type of lewdness around, it started to get ugly. And a lot of people, honestly, I'm a Black woman, and they were trying their best to take me under because of certain things that I did not accept, because I would not let the minority rule the majority. So I appreciated President Trump. Others might not get it, but when you've been under fire because of your beliefs and moral beliefs in Christianity, and someone tries to take you under for that, you appreciate a move like this. Keep going.
Country will be woke no longer.
Woke no longer.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team or they will lose all federal funding. And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never, ever going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Y'all, we've got to cut it off right here, but listen, I am enjoying this. I'm going to come back for a part 2 and 3 because this is so long. And this address gets so good because I love it when he says we will no longer tolerate students, little babies, little kids being indoctrinated to think that they were born in the wrong body. Now that right there is just crazy that this is happening in our country. But anyway, I want you to put it in the comments. What do you think about the 2025 joint address to Congress? How do you think President Trump's speech for this first part? Did he do well? And also, how do you think the Democrats were all acting? Okay, let's talk about that too. Put it in the comments. And I will see you on the next Rate the Leadership. Take care and God bless. Love thy neighbor.